You see stuff. You buy stuff. You spend too much money on stuff.
Hi, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality.
We've all found ourselves at times in our life stuck in a rut of seeing stuff and buying stuff. And the problem is, once you get in that cycle, it's like that dopamine hits your head when you buy stuff and you think, oh, this was kind of fun. So you keep doing it over and over and over again. Now, the question is, how do you get yourself unstuck from that rut? And what are the real reasons why you're getting stuck in the rut? Because once you address sort of those mindset reasons that you're actually continuing to buy and to overpay for things that you buy, then you're going to be able to find some practical solutions for not continuing to do it.
The first reason you might be spending too much money on stuff is that you believe if it's higher priced, it's higher quality.
This is not necessarily true. Now, the top of the line products tend to have like a lot of what we call bells and whistles. There's a lot of things that they'll do, perhaps more than other lesser quality or lower priced items. But the problem is you've never asked yourself, do I actually need this product? Do I need it now? And what do I need it to do? So you may be actually overpaying by getting a product that does a whole lot more than you actually need at this moment in your life.
And you might just be buying a brand name, maybe a well-known name that's got a good reputation, when you could buy maybe a lesser-known brand, get the same quality, and it'll be something that'll do the very same thing for you.
Our advice, in short, is always know what you're buying.
You might have waited till the last minute to buy. So here you are, you're out on the edge, you've got to have the item, you can't wait anymore, so you just pull the trigger and you buy it. That is not good planning. You want to try to plan as best as you can. Now, sometimes we get caught and we kind of have to get something quickly, but a lot of the times I think we have a lot of forewarning, which gives us time to make decisions.
Has this actually happened to any of you? We are raising our hands. It has absolutely happened to us where we have actually overspent just because we're like, we're here, we need it now, we're buying, it's right there, it's on the shelf, it's ours, it's going home with us. The problem may be that you just haven't done any product research at all, and y'all know if you watched us for any length of time, Larry is like the king of product research.
Well, the first thing that I'll do, and I'm working on researching a technical piece for our studio. And so I'm narrowing down. I've got the brand of the item. It's not the most expensive brand. And I'm now working on models. But it's going to take me quite a bit of time to determine what it will do, what I need it to do, and will it meet my needs. But if you don't take time to do your research, you could not only end up spending more money on an item, you might be just buying something that won't suit your particular needs.
The fourth reason you overspend may be that you just want it right now.
And that could be something personal. I mean, we all kind of want things at times, but I tell you, a little exercise in delayed gratification can save you a lot of angst when it comes to making purchases.
If you're actually in a position where you're listening and you're feeling like, I'm already in that habit, I'm overspending, can you help me right now? Actually, we wrote an ebook on 10 ways that we radically reduced our expenses, and you might find it super helpful. We walk through each of the steps, step by step, and we give you a checklist so that when you've completed that step, you can just check it off on the handy checklist. You can get that for free, and there's a link to it in the description of the video to request it.
Another thing that might be causing you to overspend is that you're afraid the item's going to be gone and you'll never have a chance to get it at that price again. I'll never forget my dad giving me a good lesson in this when I was looking for a used car. Now, used cars are kind of unique. You might see a car that you like. It might meet your needs. It might have the right amount of mileage, condition, and so on. But you just started looking and you haven't even test driven it yet. And you think, it's going to get away from me. But what my dad told me was there are plenty and always plenty of cars for sale. And that applies to anything. There are always going to be items for sale. There are always going to be sales that come around on that particular item.
I'm about to give you another example, and this is going to be highly unpopular. I'm going to tell you right now with some people. we see this very same thing happening with people who are instilling fear in the community at large. You cannot run your life or your spending habits on fear. Anybody remember in 2020 when it was toilet paper? That was the thing. You couldn't find it anywhere on the shelves. And when you did, there was like this melee, this free-for-all of people grabbing for toilet paper of all things. Whenever you buy out of fear or panic, you are going to tend to overpay.
You know, the thing about toilet paper comes to mind. Toilet paper hasn't been around forever. I don't know when it was invented, but people used other things back in the day instead of toilet paper. So if you run out of toilet paper, think about what else you could use. There's always a workaround, and it's just so funny that people panicked on that. Another thing that might cause you to spend more money than you should is you're at the store, you're looking at the item that you need, and you don't really know how it compares to other stores, but you're tired, you've been working all day, it's 5 o'clock, you're hungry, you want to get home for supper, and you think, I'm not going to drive to 4 other stores to try to price compare. I'm just going to ka-ching buy the item. We've done it.
Now,
We've been there.
The importance of this, of course, deals a little bit with the price tag involved. If it's a 49-cent bottle of ketchup, I don't think you can get ketchup for 49 cents, a $1.49 bottle of ketchup, then that's not as important as something that you're paying $400 or $500 for. But there are apps you can download onto your phone. Tell us if you use these. One of my sons use this all the time. You download the app onto your phone, and then literally all you have to do in the store is scan the UPC symbol, and all the comparison prices are going to come right up on your phone of places around that you can get this very same item at. Reason number 7 may be that you're just afraid to ask for a discount. What is the worst thing that the salesperson can say? No, and that's just not the worst thing in the world. But some stores actually do price matching. You can ask, do you do price matching? Some of them anymore are actually price matching with Amazon, which they didn't do for a really long time. And then some stores will actually give you a discount if you pay cash. And some stores will just give you a discount if you ask nicely. It doesn't hurt to ask. And sometimes, yes, it pays to ask.
Sometimes you go to the store and you really don't know what you have in your own house. You haven't done any inventory. You haven't listed what you have. So you may be looking at, let's say, a cleaning supply. You buy it only to come home and open the door, and there in your pantry, you have 4 more of the same item. So it's always good to have an inventory in your head or maybe on your tablet or your phone as to what you already have in your house. Do you really need that item?
This is a tricky one. Other people that you know have one.
Oh,
it's like
yes.
FOMO, right? All of a sudden you have fear of missing out. They've got one. Maybe we should get one of those. Do you think we need to get one of those?
No.
All of a sudden you feel like if you're going to be in the in crowd, you've got to get one of those things that all your friends have.
Maybe shopping is your hobby. Okay, you're bored, you're sitting around, you have nothing to do, so you either go online and start shopping, or you get in your car and you go out and you just say, I'm just going to go look around. That can cause you to spend money that you don't have. And another thing that we do, we tend to buy things as kind of a comfort measure. Maybe we've had a bad day at work. Maybe we got into an argument with somebody. We're feeling kind of bad. We want to kind of nurse our wounds. So we go out and we buy something. Buying things makes us feel good, at least at the time. It does. It may not later when you start adding up the costs.
You may actually be overspending because you are shopping with friends. It's kind of a social thing to do, to go out and spend time with friends. You're going to maybe get coffee on the way somewhere, spend the day going from store to store, or even, listen up guys, garage sale to garage sale, or Goodwill to Goodwill. A whole lot of doing that can mean that you're buying a whole lot of things you don't need, or you're overspending, even at Goodwill, on things that you are buying.
And when you're shopping with friends, there can be that peer pressure issue going on where you think, oh, they're buying something cool, so I got to find something good too. So yeah, that can be an issue. As long as you're aware of it, then it's not a problem.
But if you're walking into that sort of situation, make sure that you have a budget. Make sure that you know exactly how much you are willing to spend on that shopping trip. And then it might be okay to do every once in a while.
Yeah, it always helps if you put a cap on it. That's we did that when we went to auctions. If we found an item at an auction, we had a cap price in mind. We wouldn't go beyond, so we didn't get caught up in the moment. And that is our next point. It's real easy to get caught up in the moment. You see something, you look at it, you think, wow, I would really like to have that. Like let's say an Adirondack chair or something. And that is a form of an impulse buy. It wasn't something you planned. You're just getting caught up, and that's something that can be avoided.
Larry and I used to go to auctions, and we would see people do this. They would get in this bidding war with another person for this box of stuff that we were like, what in the world?
Yeah.
And Larry would lean over to me about halfway through the bidding process and say, they're going to wake up tomorrow morning and think, why did I buy that?
Yeah, they're going to say, why the heck did we spend that money on that item? And that is an easy thing. That's why auctions are so popular. It's really easy to get into that competition. You got to win. So you're trying to win against that bidder.
Are you going shopping? Are you overspending because you just had a bad day? It's kind of a natural panacea for us to feel like, oh, my day was horrible, but at least I can go buy a new pair of shoes or a new handbag or even a coffee or dinner out or something. The truth is, so Larry and I, you guys know, don't go out to eat very often. When we go out to eat, it does tend to be because we are really tired, really stressed. It's been the end of a really long week. We're like, we're done. We've had it. And we're going to go hit up Burger King for an Impossible Burger. And it's happened. So it happens to us too. And that's why we're telling you about this, is because we struggle with the same things y'all do.
You might buy into an item because it's advertised as a special offer. The classic mistake, and we've talked about this on previous video, that Hope and I made was we bought a set of Salad Master pans. Now, we're not against Salad Master pans.
They're high quality. We love them.
They're very well made. They will outlive us, no doubt about that.
They will.
But they are certainly way overpriced. And we got caught up in the moment of a demonstration where a friend came over and presented them and said, this offer is only good tonight. In fact, it's only good for 3 hours. And I thought, no, I bet if we'd really challenged him that they would have taken that money the next day. Maybe you're not tracking your spending. That is a classic mistake to make that will cause you to spend money that you don't have, because you don't know how much you don't have until you track it.
If you heard that saying, you don't know what you don't know, well, here's the truth. When you do know what you do know, you know to do better. I think that made sense the way that I said it. But once you've tracked that spending and you see those numbers in front of your eyes, you can't undo it, guys. And that's why we tell you track your spending, because once you've seen it, then you know in your heart, I got to make some changes.
Maybe you're constantly putting temptation in front of your eyes. And the more that you do that, the easier it is to fall into it. So if it's late at night and I'm just kind of perusing through Amazon on the computer, it would be very easy for me to make a purchase. Now, here's one of the things that I do to keep from making those kind of purchases. I'll ask Hope about it. I'll just say, Hope, what do you think about this?
He knows I'm going to say no.
Hey, well, you do it all the time. And we'll talk about it, and maybe she'll say no, or maybe she'll say, let's look into that later. Let's do more research. And that keeps me from buying something just because I'm tempted at the moment to make that purchase.
In all seriousness, like an accountability partner is really important, I think, in this process.
Really helps.
And so it's not a matter of one or the other of us holding the purse strings. It's that we check in with each other to say, how does this fit within our budget? Is this okay? You know, how is this going to impact like future goals we have? You always got to remember that this is like dominoes. And that's one of the reasons we talk about this so much, about spending habits, is the fact that once you allow one thing to go, it topples the next and the next and the next and the next. And pretty soon you're realizing that some of those goals you really had, you're not reaching. And it's because you made that decision way back here to overspend on some things that you really didn't need.
Okay, here's a wild one. Let's see if any of us do this one. We want to look rich. Okay, you ever gone over to a friend's house and I mean, it looks like Better Homes and Gardens. In fact, it even looks better than that.
It does.
It looks like Victorian homes, and they have all the furniture in place, and everything's just nicely arranged. It's all new, very expensive interior. And then you get home and you look at your house and you go, oh,
It looks bad all of a sudden.
not good, not up to standards. So it's easy to kind of fall into that. You want to look rich, or you want to make it look a little bit more polished. And is that really important? I mean, I don't know.
It could be that you're looking at that price tag and thinking, you know what? Spending that amount of money just not going to make a whole lot of difference to my future goals. And the problem is you do that a number of times and it does make a difference to your future goals. You have to look at every expenditure that you're getting ready to make and think, do I have the money set aside for this? Do I need it? Do I need it now? And how is that going to impact my goals down the road?
One of the ways it's really easy to make that mistake is that you don't have a budget to begin with. So you have to start there. With a budget, then you have all of your money expenditures in categories. You have every dollar working for you. It's all got a purpose. So you can't just go out and spend whatever you feel you'd like to.
Now, if you're watching and thinking, budget, don't have a written budget, or I've tried budgeting, it's just not working for me, or I have a budget and I really know I need to change that thing. So if that's where you're at right now, we actually have a 4-step process that we follow in order to set up a budget. We show you exactly how to do it. You can do it in 4 easy steps and in 30 minutes or less. We did a video on it. It's right over there. Go take a look.
There's corn cobs. There's a Sears catalog.
Oh my God.
You could even use a maple leaf, but a
crap.
sycamore. Well, yeah, if it's what.
I don't think we can use that. It's so funny.